Hey everyone, it's Deb here from Deb's Greenhouse and welcome to today's top 5 plants. We're going to start with this beautiful petunia. It's called Cascadia's Autumn Mystery. And if you notice, this is one plant, but it has different tones in the flowers. So this is really beautiful. You're going to have flowers with multiple tones. Gives a really dimensional look in a pot or a basket. This petunia is going to wave out a bit for you. And it's going to do fantastic in flower boxes, like window boxes, flower pots, like containers, or hanging baskets. It's a really great choice. Beautiful color. Full sun on all your petunias. So at least 6 hours of daylight touching the leaves. Now that can be morning and night or any point through the day, or full day sun. Petunias can handle the heat and they can handle drying out a bit. So this is a really great choice if you have a hot spot. Okay, our second plant for today's top 5 is this beautiful thimburgia. Now, thimburgia is commonly called a black-eyed Susie vine or a Susie vine, and these ones are in pink. And if you notice, there's a little bit of white striping in this. I noticed that in a few of them this year. This is a beautiful climbing vine. You can see how it's twirled around. It's actually self-climbing, so put a little trellis on it. You need to transplant it out of this container. We have 2 thimburgia in here, and this bucket is $10. This isn't big enough to keep it happy all summer. You're meant to transplant it into a larger container at home, a planter, window box, hanging basket, even in the ground, and make sure it has something it can attach to. Hot sun for these guys. They love the heat. If you're here in Alberta like us, don't plant them outside until that first week of June when we know our nights are going to have warm temperatures. Our third plant for today's top 5 plants is this beautiful begonia. This is called the begonia hot orange, and it is just going to be loaded. Look at how many buds are on here, and this is just one little plant in a 6-inch pot. This is going to be like a fireball. So we put some of these in hanging baskets, and this needs a bit of shade, so make sure it has a break in the afternoon. Does not like the hot afternoon sun. It will let you know by getting crispy. So if you see your begonias getting crispy, move them to a shadier spot so they'll be really happy. But yeah, this is gorgeous. This is $8 for this little bucket. It does need to be transplanted into something larger. Okay, our fourth plant for today's top 5. I'm cheating a little bit because it's actually a mixture. And this is an envy kit. These were all designed on site by my daughter Paige. Artwork, design, everything. And this mix is called the Vicky. This mix can go in morning sun, needs afternoon shade. And it has more details on here. If you buy this mix, you do get a card. You get this card to take it home with you, so you know exactly what's in your mix. And this is what it looks like. It's in this really shallow plant pie. Now, these plant pies are just temporary. It's meant for you to transplant at home, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is a beautiful blend. It's just starting to bloom, so we're seeing a bit of color. Nice and full though, even for this early in the season. And when you get it home, when you're ready to transplant it into your larger container, you want to pick a container that's at least 13 inches wide, all the way up to about 17 inches wide. And it'll fill out the whole pot. A little bigger is better, like 15 to 17 is ideal. 13 is a little small, but if that's all you have, that's okay. Otherwise, we have planters here too. You can always buy a new planter. But I find most people have like pots at home they really like. So what you're going to do is let it dry out a bit. We don't want it really wet because it's harder to transplant when it's really wet. The soil might crumble and fall apart. So let it be dry. Kind of wiggle your hand in to the center and put your fingers on the soil. You can feel your fingers on the soil, and then you just do this. You just flip it right over and loosen the edges of the plant pie, and it just comes off. That's it. If you let it be dry, if you make sure it's dry, it will just shrink the soil a bit and it comes out really easy. And then you're just gonna flip it and put it right into your pot. That's it. It's so easy. Make sure your planter has like really nice, loose, fluffy soil. You're allowed to reuse your old soil. Just mix it up really nicely. Maybe wet it down and then put this in. You wanna make sure when you transplant it, you leave a gap at the top so that there's room for the water when you're watering your planter, that it doesn't just spill over the top. So don't have the soil right at the top of the pot. You know, give it an extra inch or so that you can water it properly in the summertime. So that's the Vicky. That's the fourth plant mix in today's top 5. Hold on, I'm getting old. And then the fifth plant for today's top 5 is another envy kit. We actually have 10 core styles, and we have extras here too. But there's lots of these in store. So the fifth plant for today's top 5 is one called the Melisandre. This can go in full sun. So I would say at least 4 hours of sunlight all the way to full day sun. It's if you know Game of Thrones, then Melisandre, be familiar. It's got the rich reds like Melisandre and a bit of gold. Very pretty, and the details again are on the back of the card. Same thing, you're just gonna pop it out and put it right into your planter. This has 2 beautiful colors of coleus. We've got the dark one here, the red one, and then this one is like a deep rich burgundy bronze. It's got the tall canna, so this is gonna have something tall in it. And then we've got vines that hang over the edges and beautiful red daisies. So same thing, just wiggle your hand right into the center, give it a flip, and then this comes off fairly easy. Make sure that the soil is on the dry side, otherwise it will kind of just crumble apart. And then you just put it right in your planter. Make sure the vines are lifted up and not underneath, and you're done. Your planter is beautifully designed. There's 9 plants in each of these envy kits, and we just want this to be easy and fun for you. And reuse the containers you have already. So that's today's top 5 plants, and it's May 7th. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.